Welcome back, YouTube. As you all know, the fight that is headlining UFC Vancouver in October is Reina de Ritter versus Anthony Hernandez. So we're gonna go through this card, and no, I lied actually. Anthony Hernandez is hurt. Anthony Hernandez has an injury, so he's dropped out of his fight. His 5-round main event against Reina de Ritter, and they replaced Anthony Hernandez with none other than Brendan Allen. Insane sport. Insane sport. Look, I just got off of work, right? I just got off work and shit. Came home. I obviously had to change shirt, but I just got off work. Come home, see this bullshit. Hey man, earlier we got this announcement. Kevin is the only one that announced this, but earlier we got Reina de Ritter needs a new opponent. Anthony Hernandez is injured and he's out for the main event. So Paulo Costa was supposed to be the one to step in. Everyone was excited on Twitter. You know, Paulo Costa versus Reina de Ritter. Paulo Costa's had like a resurgence in his last performance. He only beat Roman Kopylov, so you know that just makes him. He's for sure gonna beat Reina de Ritter or any top opponent that he gets now because he beat Roman Kopylov. But everyone was excited to hear Paulo Costa was gonna step in. But you know, Brendan Allen is the name that they gave. Reina de Ritter is gonna 50-44 Brendan Allen, like, or he'll submit him. This is so fun. Out of every fighter that you could have chose to replace Anthony Hernandez in the entire middleweight division, you replaced him with Brendan Allen. I don't know the game plan. I don't know what the UFC thought they were cooking here. This is an absolutely shit matchup. Just because it's grappler on grappler does not mean it's gonna be fun. Brendan Allen is a boring shit, just a horrible grappler. Here are just some names that I'm gonna throw out there for you to know that could have been replaced with, instead of number 11, Brendan Allen. Paulo Costa. Roman Dolidze could have replaced, and well, I guess he couldn't. Well, I guess he could have because they're ranked the same. So Roman Dolidze could have replaced him. Michael Venom Page could have replaced him. Kyle Baralho, who we'll get to later, could have also replaced Anthony Hernandez. He just beat Rob. Israel Adesanya could have been in talks to replace him, even though Izzy wouldn't take that fight on such short notice. But the real people that could have and probably would have stepped in, Paulo Costa, who the rumor was actually supposed to be Paulo Costa, and Kyle Baralho, who we'll get to later. But this is a horrible main event for you to look forward to. It really is. Like, I don't even want to be that guy after I just saw Crawford versus Canelo. And how boring that was. I don't want to shit on the UFC because the UFC is leaps and bounds and leagues better than boxing right now. But yeah, man, I'm really annoyed with Brendan Allen being the choice because he's not a fun fighter. Brendan Allen has horrible cardio kickboxing stand-up, and he has jiu-jitsu, but not real MMA grappling. He's got jiu-jitsu. So, I mean, Reina de Ritter's going to walk right through him, knee him all in his body, clinch him up, take him down, and either submit him or just ragdoll him for 5 rounds. Yeah, but let's just get to the, like, we got a bomb today. I guess this is a bomb, you know. Anthony Hernandez versus Reina de Ritter was set to be a huge matchup. Anthony Hernandez falls out, and we get Paulo Costa saying, hey, after Charles pulled out, I got some news. Somebody hurt in the main event, so UFC called me. I'm gonna try to read it how it's supposed to be read, not how Paulo Costa said. UFC called Paulo Costa to fight in a top 5 fight in a few weeks for 5 rounds. To be fair, I proposed 3 rounds due to short time, and guess what? He said no for 3 rounds. What the heck? Cowards, gonna expose them all. My vintage version is back, and people are scared. And he's showing him flexing. I'm not gonna play this video. It's too gay. But Paulo Costa said this. What idiot? I mean, I would have loved to see Reina de Ritter versus Paulo Costa. I would have had Reina de Ritter winning anyway. But if you get the opportunity to headline a main event in a month, and UFC calls you, don't tell them to make it 3 rounds. Like, you aren't Zabit. Take the fucking take the 5-round main event. They'll probably get a bump up, and you'll probably get a couple more $100,000 or whatever you're getting paid for the short notice main event of a fight night. But on top of that, we had Kyle Bravo, who just lost to Nasruddin Imavov 2 weeks ago. Said, I heard someone got hurt. Just call me and I'm in. 5 rounds, of course, because I'm not pussy like some guy that said yes to only 3 rounds. Obviously talking about Paulo Costa. And you got this idiot saying, no thanks, bro, train a little bit longer. If you think thought or anything, if you really sit it back and think that Brendan Allen is a better replacement than Kyle Bravo, you're a fucking moron. I'm not gonna lie. You're a moron. I would have 1000% loved to see RDR versus Bravo as a main event. It would have shown Bravo was just, he's that badass guy that'll get back in the, he is a BMF, he'll get back in there a month after losing, in a 5-rounder against one of the most dangerous contenders in the division. But yeah, man, I'm not too interested in the main event anymore. Anthony Hernandez made me not a fan, but Anthony Hernandez put himself on the map for me in his last performance, and now I don't really care because I know I'm gonna watch it, but I know Rainer is gonna destroy him, and Brendan Allen is horrible. Brendan Allen is genuinely a prelim fight on, like a featured prelim fight on a pay-per-view, or he's the opening fight of a fight night, of a crowded fight night, or he's like a feature fight or a co-main on an Apex card. That's the level of fighter Brendan Allen is. So to see him in the main event in the big 2025, short notice or not, it's just like, and he's not one of those fighters that you can be like, you're counting him out and he can make the comeback. There is zero way for him to beat Randy the Ritter. Zero. He's not tougher than the Ritter. He doesn't have better grappling. He does not have better submission. He doesn't have better stand-up. I'm taking the Ritter stand-up over his. The Ritter at least can eat him up with a jab or knee him to the body. I don't know, man. I really would have liked to have seen Paulo Costa and Kyle Bravo. It's very frustrating. Very frustrating. Yeah, Paulo Costa talking about 3 rounds, man. They offer you a top 5 fight, and it's a main event, and you say no thanks, or you say yeah, but as long as it's 3 rounds. Man, what the fuck? Why can't we just be good, man? No dropouts. No dropouts, please. At least no dropouts for UFC 320. I'm be vlogging UFC 320 and be vlogging my trip. I'm going to UFC 320. If there's a pullout in the main card, I may as well just kill myself. Or not kill myself. I may as well just drive off a bridge in GTA. But moving on though, enough about that. We got one more debacle going on in the MMA community right now, and it's who is going to be the next opponent for Alexander Volkanovski. Right now, we can just go over and look at the division, the featherweight division, and as you can see, Volkanovski, obviously the champion. Diego Lopez just got a title shot. Movsar Evloev hasn't fought since he beat Aljamain Sterling last December. He was supposed to fight Aaron Pico, that he pulled out of that fight. So Lerone Murphy steps in. But Volkanovski just beat Diego Lopez. He absolutely demolished Yair Rodriguez. The only real contenders right now is 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, I love Aljamain Sterling. He's one of my favorite fighters. Top 10 favorite fighter on the roster, Aljo is. I don't believe he deserves a title shot against Alexander Volkanovski right now. I really don't. But him and Lerone Murphy are going at it on Twitter right now. Lerone says, "How is Aljo's name even in the mix? I'm confused. Bro's 2-2 in his last 4 fights. He was a good bantamweight, but an average featherweight. Only one name makes sense, and that is Lerone Murphy." Aljo claps back. "You beat a Bellator guy, Brody. Ran circles from Emmett and have 2 finishes in your whole UFC career. I'm a 3-time defending former champ, beat a 2-time title challenger, almost 3 times the UFC wins than you. Brother, I am next. My name makes perfect sense, and I can show you a miracle. It would be a miracle if Aljamain Sterling was to get a title shot, and it would be a miracle for him to beat Volkanovski. I think the obvious matchups, before I talk about the obvious matchups, Lerone Murphy said this because Aljo's been putting his name in the conversations about getting a Diego Lopez fight after Diego Lopez's win, or Aljo's been talking about after he beat Brian Ortega recently. He said he wanted a title shot. Now, I'm a big Aljo fan. He does not deserve a title shot right now. The problem with featherweight is no one really deserves a title shot. Like I said, Volk beat Diego, Yair. That's 2 of the top 5. So, Movsar, Lerone, and Aljo. Aljo's on a 1-fight win streak right now. He recently lost to Movsar Evloev. Lerone Murphy's looked boring as shit for his entire UFC run up until he just knocked out Aaron Pico. He knocked out Aaron Pico. He didn't knock out anyone in the top 15. He didn't knock out a name that should just bring you high up and shoot you levels above everybody and get you an immediate title shot. But that's how really shallow the division is right now. Because when you look at it, I mean, like, who else is there? Movsar was supposed to fight, and Lerone Murphy took over his opponent and knocked him out in spectacular fashion. Beat him better than Movsar would have ever beaten Aaron Pico. Speaking of Movsar, though, Movsar says, congratulations to Diego Lopez. Let's do the rematch, or maybe I can fight Lerone Murphy. Doesn't matter, any of these 2 guys. Come on, bro. He then goes on to say, respond to Lerone Murphy's tweet, hey, man, you're probably not going to get this title shot, and me and you will end up fighting. I'm looking forward to it, but if you do end up getting the title shot, then good luck. Then he ends it off saying, I'm the only guy who can beat Volk right now, but I have to fight Lerone or Diego, then I have no problem doing it. There's a couple problems right now. I don't think anyone deserves the title shot right now, and it's the same way with Ilia Topuria at lightweight. Now, if you want to be the UFC, now lightweight especially is the premier division in the UFC. It's been for the last 10 years since Conor, basically. If you want to have it so like someone can just fight for the title, then I would probably rather see Movsar. But what they should really do is Aljamain Sterling versus Yair Rodriguez. Then they should do Lerone Murphy can get a title shot. I guess. I think Aljo should fight Yair. 3 versus 5 is perfect. Movsar, Diego Lopez rematch, because Diego obviously can't get a title shot right now. And then, yeah, that just leaves Lerone Murphy getting a title shot. Like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. We're in such an odd situation right now. Such an odd situation in the UFC and in these with these matchups. But yeah, let Lerone Murphy fight Volk in December. But the problem with this is, obviously, with the way everyone's talking on Twitter right now, the top fucking 3 of the 5 contenders in the top 5, there have been absolutely no talks if this is the way that these motherfuckers are talking. They're all trying to make their case as to why. They're all trying to say why. Movsar doesn't even believe he'll get a title shot. He knows the UFC's not fucking with him. It's just like, okay, you know you're not getting a title shot, but none of you are scheduling any fights. You know what I'm saying? It's just like Lerone Murphy took no damage in his fight. I know he fought last month, but he took no damage. And he's calling for a title shot. Blood, you're number 4. Like, you can go fight. You can still fight everybody in the top 3 to get your title shot. You haven't fought anyone in the top 3. You haven't fought anyone in the top 10 outside of Josh Emmett. I don't know, man. Aljamain Sterling versus Yair, obvious. Because then you can let Diego Lopez and Movsar Evloev get their rematch. Or you can go Diego Lopez, Lerone Murphy, and give Movsar the title shot. But the problem with Movsar is, there's not a problem actually as a Volk fan. You can see I said, baby bro, as a Volk stan, I would jump for joy if they announced you as next. You have 0 ways to beat Volk. No KO power, no real submission ability against higher level comp, just control time, and no one Volk size controls him. Facts. As a Volk fan, I am not scared of Movsar Evloev. He presents no threat to Volk. The only person in the top 5 that presents a threat to Volk right now is Diego Lopez. The only person. Movsar has nothing but control time, grappling. Aljo's basically the exact same. Not basically. Aljo is the exact same as Movsar. Volk would absolutely eat them up in the stand up, and he stuffed their takedowns. Volk's too strong. Diego Lopez he beat. Yair he beat. So then you leave Lerone Murphy, who I'm not too keen on. Not too keen. I'm not high on Lerone Murphy for knocking out Aaron Pico, who tried to do his best T.J. Dillashaw impression. It's just a very weird situation, and then you still got Volk calling everybody out. It's annoying to see the UFC's really not moving these divisions along. It's very annoying. We're getting a bunch of weird matchups in the featherweight division, and then in lightweight, there's nothing at all. Like none of the top 5 in lightweight have a fight booked. Not Ilya Topuria, Arman Sarukian. Charles Oliveira has a fight booked somehow. Justin Gaethje doesn't have a fight booked. He hasn't fought since March. And Rafael Fiziev, who we fought last, coming off an ACL tear, is about to fight twice before Gaethje even has an announcement. I don't know what's going on in the UFC right now. I don't know what they're thinking about, but maybe we're just holding out for Paramount. But that's all I got for y'all, man. Randy the Ritter versus Brendan Allen and more featherweight controversy. Sorry for the upload schedule, man. I have had no motivation to get in front of this camera. I really haven't. I'm trying to build it back, though, but I haven't had any motivation to get in front of this camera and record. But I'm trying to get some more vids out. Hopefully there's more UFC content, especially in a dead week when there's no UFC or anything at all. So, yeah, man. Y'all have a great night. And refresh your subscription box. Like and subscribe. See y'all in the next video.